shoes off with my team.
So cold, I swear my flow froze. All I need some G.
Listen, work a circuit system as we travel the distance. Take me to another town, show them how we get down. So many taking credit for something they didn't earn. Jordan and Cedric gonna be the ones that make them learn. And those are real names.
Look, money is a major issue. So just know when I mention paper, I ain't talking about tissue.
It's up, everybody. You know what it is. It's Thursday night, so we must be hanging out at the bus stop like we normally do over here on Shady Sports Network. You're rocking with the bus driver. I'm Gemini. Got the co-host Statik. You know how we rolling. What's good, man?
What's up, man? Just sitting here bumming about this last Nuggets game.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Trying to watch this Warriors game like, oh, well, hopefully the Timberwolves will go down. Now I'm playing. Timberwolves are smashing right now. But, yeah, the Nuggets, man, oh, gosh. Yeah, guys, so we're going to be talking about that Nuggets game. They got mollywopped by OKC, and we knew it was going to be a fight. And just, you know what I mean, just get into that tonight. So rock with us. Thank you, Mikey, for hitting that like button. That's what's up, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Jump in the comments. Tell us what's up. You want to join the conversation? Come hang with us over here at the bus stop. But, yeah, man, Nuggets mollywop. The Thunder mollywop the Nuggets. I wish it was the other way around.
Right, yeah.
149 to 106.
It was unfortunate, man, but, it was bound to happen, honestly. I didn't expect any kind of clean sweep. That was never anything in my prediction. But I've loved it, of course. But, it just wasn't in our cards, honestly, with the fact that we had been playing. That was our, ninth game straight. So, I mean, it's one of those deals. We had that question last week about would you rather have the break like OKC had for 9 days, or would you rather have, that rhythm, that pace, keep going with it, and have that potential of, possibly getting out of it and falling out of rhythm and keeping that rhythm, but being tired, the consistency.
Yeah, right. I think we're all with Mikey. Yeah, man. I think, Nuggets just kind of went into this one hoping to win one of the two, right? Still home court advantage, and they happened to do that in the first one. So
exactly, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I think they were able to kind of play around with some lineups, right? And the frustrations got the best of it too. We got the real Mike Lee over on Instagram. Shout out real Mike Lee, Nuggets in 5, right? That's the goal. I said Nuggets in 7, but you got the 2 MVP contenders going at it, right? This is what we wanted to see when Joel Embiid and the Joker were contenders going back and forth, but we never got to see that. Now we get to see they have to go at each other, right? Like both want to win, so they have to give it their all. And this, Joker took game 1 and SGA took game 2, and we'll, hopefully, I think we can come back home and regroup and see something. But man, I'm tired of MPJ. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, 25 minutes, 5 rebounds, and 8 points. Just that injury is really showing. It's really starting to show, unfortunately, and it's something that it seemed like the Thunder were picking on. They knew he was hurt. They knew that he had a weak link, and they attacked that. And he's really not providing the way he could be. It's kind of that point in time where, as a real team player, you bow out instead of trying to be, the scapegoat or the, one out there trolling. Like, I feel like he bench himself, make sure he's being aware and giving these other guys an opportunity. We saw some great things out of Peyton Watson in the time he was out there. He had 15 minutes, 2 rebounds, 19 points, 9 points, I mean. And we got to see Julian Strawther finally come out. 14 minutes, 1 assist, and 9 points. So, I mean, it's nice to see the bench come off and kind of really play a role, see what they can do with this OKC defense and offense. But, it's one of those things where we just got to play with our lineups. We got to, rely on our bench a little more, see if they can really give anything to this series that we didn't see in the Clippers matchup.
Yeah, man, because I am over this OKC team already, man. They don't, they ain't really got nothing You know, they don't really have. I don't know, man. Just Lou Dort. I ain't finna get beat by Lou Dort.
No, no, he's been taking me off, man, with his just three range has been killing us. And they're just giving it up. Our defense hasn't been playing to their full potential. I feel like we just let stuff go. There was a play where I don't remember. Oh, I think it was Wiggins just ran straight through Jokic and Murray, passed them both in the paint to get to the hoop to beat them back to their own hoop. And it's just like there's just no care. You don't even see them pay attention. They just got their backs turned as they're taking it up the court on us. And it's like that's just not. It's not solid defense. It's not the Nuggets that I'm used to. You know, we're very competitive by nature, and we like to push, and we like to get those fast-paced points, and it's just not happening right now. And I think it's just the tiredness and the fatigue really starting to show, and we needed that bad game just to kind of break a little bit. I feel like they got a breather a little bit. It was one thing frustrating to see, but you know it was bound to happen. There was no way I was expecting a sweep in the second round on the best team in the Western Conference.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, they have the deepest bench, and we have Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? At our bench. Shout out to my mom for over there on Facebook. But yeah, I mean, you saw that in the last game. Like we just really couldn't keep up, and we had to bring out, you know, guys you hadn't seen and probably wouldn't have seen if Malone had been coaching, right? And Schroeder and Pickett and all those guys, you know, and Najee. And it was good to see those guys come out. And you know, granted, it wasn't garbage time, so maybe you didn't see what you could have seen. But I thought it's all promise too. You know, I thought those guys came out and played hard, and they did have a couple of breaks that they did, you know, take over, especially when they first came out, you know, in the fourth quarter, and Peyton Watson had that turnover.
Yeah,
that was exciting, right? To see some energy come out there from the young guys. But it's just like, man, like some of those calls are pissing me off. I'll tell you what.
yeah. No, I was losing my mind in game one. Honestly, just first 10 minutes into the game of game one, already the commentators, they were getting on my nerves already just right off the bat. Just really glazing OKC. You know, OKC was behind the whole first quarter of game one. And you still hear the announcers really just giving them full credit and being like, oh, we just love this push and what they're showing right now. And they were down and losing. And you weren't seeing Nuggets get any love from the commentators.
At all, man. Those commentators just all riding OKC's jock. And it's just like, oh, yeah, see, we've seen this all season. You know what I mean? Like OKC plus the refs, OKC plus the whole, you know, you got to win over everybody in order just to beat them, you know, and it's wild. So yeah. I think we come back, though. I think we'll see, you know, we saw some positive matchups, you know, Aaron Gordon being able to play bully ball. You know, they would constantly put smaller guys out on him.
Yeah.
And, you know, you know, I don't know if Joker being a coach takes a lot away. I think he really is just kind of stepped into that leadership role that we've all wanted him to be in. And now he's just really being that leader.
Yeah, and that's pretty true, honestly. You know, it's nice to have that coach support where the coach can really take the lead on game planning everything. But this is something we haven't seen from Jokic ever. He's always been the best player on the team, but he's never been the leader of the team. He's never been the true captain, really taking initiative and showing really what the team has needed, which was just to have single voice from a player. It's always just been Coach Malone really taking that role and telling them all what to do, and Jokic kind of just sidelining it because, you know, he's ex-Coach Malone, but he understands that he has to actually do more and he has to step up, and he has to really support these guys and show them that, you know, there's no time like now.
Well, and he has to bring that, you know, that feisty energy, right? Because Adam is not going to come out there and yell at the refs.
Yeah, and that's one – it's a funny comment from Mikey just because, I mean, if you notice that Jokic goes to the line – in OKC, that's what they kept yelling was free throw merchant. And, you know, they did the interview with him where they asked Jokic about it. He's like, I didn't even notice, honestly. Didn't even know that's his name, but that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Shy the free throw merchant. Man. You know, but, hey, he still does what he needs to do. That guy can hit his spots, and his midi, let me tell you, his mid-range game is pretty neat.
It's pretty similar to what we were seeing from Kawhi in the Clippers matchup, where Kawhi was just finding his spot and just hitting it every single time on us, man, and it was just killing us. And we were able to overcome that because that's all they really had at times was Kawhi hitting those shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and we just need somebody like that here in the Nuggets. I think that's what I'm getting at. Like, why can't we find a guard that can go and hit his spots, and not just a guard that just chooses to hit his spots when he wants to.
Right, and our 3-point game was just not there in game 2. I mean, you see Porter throwing it up there, you seen Russell throwing it up there. The only one that was hitting was Jokic and Murray, and it has to be more than those two. There's 5 guys on that starting squad. And
we gotta stop depending on Russ to hit threes. I don't know who told him Russ can go out there and shoot threes, man.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Justin, what up, man? Hey, shout out Joker for MVP, right? I'm with that.
Yeah, but if it really comes down to this series, to who's going to end up getting the last of the votes for that, Jokic. If we take this series, I can see Jokic climbing back up in that voting column. But if we drop, I pray we don't. But if we drop, then I can see SGA taking it and having that conversation we had a couple years ago, and Embiid got it, and Joker was robbed.
Shoot, man, he could have the MVP if we get championship.
Yeah,
I'll take championship over the MVP. Finals right. MVP for Joker again. Go that route, but I mean, I feel like they already did voting though, right? They just don't announce it,
right? Yeah,
until next week. So, like Shy got it. They did enough campaigning for him, but the Joker was phenomenal. It's hard not to give it. It's crazy if you don't vote for him.
Right, and that's been the conversation and a heavy topic with many sports channels, many sportscasters, commentators. They've all given Joker his flowers, honestly. They all see it going SGA's way, but, they've all really shown respect to Jokic and what he's able to put up this year as a center. He really established himself and kind of put himself cemented in the column of one of the greatest to ever do it and active greatest to do it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Definitely the greatest doing it right now and one of the greatest to do it. And it sucks that the Nuggets can't put a freaking team around them, man.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just really comes down to that trading market, I feel like. And, we just never hit it. We always rely on drafts. We rely on these young guys off the bench to really do something. And it's time for us to really just, develop a solid team with people who are established already. It's like the Broncos all over again, where they're trying to build through the draft, and they're in the same position where they have this person who's proven himself in Bo Nix, and now they need to build around him through experience and those people that are vetted and really understand the game.
Yeah, man, and can't even do it. We don't even have a GM right now, too, so we won't even know how they're building.
Right. And you can't leave it up to the Cronkies because they'll leave.
They won't build.
No, they'll leave it to the wind and just sell off a different property.
Look at the Avalanche.
Right.
Yeah.
You're more worried about naming rights than they are team.
Stupid. We just got beat by our own player for who signed for less money than what we were going to offer him. Yep. Stupid.
Yeah, no, it's sad to see the asses fall out of it, and that was a real unfortunate game because we were up 2-0 all the way up until 10 minutes left in the third period, and then they just drained 4 on us. One was empty net, and Miko got his hat trick. It was a sight to see for sure. Makes me happy for Miko that he's going somewhere well, that he's thriving there because he was not having that kind of performance or outlook on things when he went to the Hurricanes, and it was looking like, the Avs had won that trade battle and getting rid of him, but now he's kind of proving everybody wrong. And, I'm happy for him, but, I'm a diehard Avalanche fan, and, I want to see our Avs go all the way. And I think we could do that definitely if we do something next year with moving things around and having Gabriel Landeskog from the start of the season.
Hey, guys, you're watching the Bus Stop here in Shady sports. I'm Gemini, a Statik. We're holding it down for you here. We're talking about, right now we're talking about the Avs. Dallas is gonna win it all, right? That's what we're saying. Whoever won that series, but It was crazy the Avs got bounced because they had such a good team. But yo, you're watching the Bus Stop here at Shady Sports Network. I'm gonna take a 30-second break real quick. Put a little promo up. Hit that like button. Keep hitting that like button. Hit that share button, guys. And we'll be right back. Yes, y'all, and you don't stop to the beat, y'all. So the Nuggets need to do hit it to the beat, man. Come out with more energy. When they play Friday night, tomorrow night.
Yeah, yep. It's coming back home finally. You know, I'm just hoping that we can clean house, clean up at home, make sure that we're protecting our home court, and come out of this 3-1 going back to OKC. I'm okay with taking another loss there and going Game 6 and, you know, winning it in Game 6. I'm okay taking it in Game 7, to be honest, as we get it done. But I feel like it's really going to come down to these next 2 home games for us and us securing that home court advantage with ending it here on Game 6.
They're giving the Nuggets 35.5% on ESPN.
Yeah, and
that?
It's not surprising, honestly, with our performance in this last game. They're expecting, you know, OKC to keep running on this whole run that they've built, and, you know, this motivation and that they came out with in Game 2 and everything. So they're going to try and carry that momentum. And, you know, of course, a lot of analysts, all that are going to really think that they're going to run with this momentum, but the Nuggets, if you know anything about them, you know that we are great at stopping those momentums. You know, there was 2 times this year in this regular season with OKC alone that we ended their winning streak. I think one was a 7-game winning streak. The next one was a 9-game winning streak where we ended them twice. So, I mean, we don't let them go on streaks on us really regularly. So,
yeah. And then we tie with them.
Oh, no, we ended their winning streak. I think one was.
Didn't we split the season with them too?
Yeah, 2-2.
Yeah. Is that what you were just saying?
No, I didn't bring up the whole that we lost twice. Really, just that in the 2 wins that we had, we ended their winning streaks that they were on currently in that regular season. So they never came in and really swept us. They never kept a streak going with us. Once they came to Denver with a winning streak, we ended it. So I expect the same performance from us and really the same results. And that there's anything that could really stop them from going on any kind of run, it is the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, man. Right? They're still little, bro. You know what I mean? They got their little squad and whatnot, but they gotta go through the fire, man. They gotta go through the, you know what I mean? They gotta go through the Rumble and the Bronx. They just can't come up, think they about to be the new Memphis Grizzlies, high flying and stuff. It gets slowed down around here.
Yep, definitely.
Oh yeah, so I was looking up some songs. Justin was asking about some music. You got some music recommendations?
Nothing new really that I've been listening to. Whole run that they've.
Yeah. I'm still rocking Bubba Gang Cushington. That's been my go-to these days. I don't know. It's just bring up a good playlist for me, I guess. It just be chilling.
I've been going a little bit old school lately, really. Kind of just jamming some Lupe Fiasco, switching up the genres too, bumping some Slipknot here and there on my drives, making sure I'm wide awake with some metal playing in the background. But yeah, just really kind of going with what I know, not really looking into too many new music or new artists recently. Something I gotta put some time into, because that's something that me and you are always great at, knowing those up and coming artists that are killing it. So that's something that we'll probably have this week, is a couple new artists.
Right. I put Lupe playlist on today. I was feeling that vibe, some kick push, little throwback. Yeah, I mean, that was a good era too for rap, man. You know, it was It was chill. Lupe
Yeah.
is a GOAT.
Yeah, even when he played at Red Rock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was I think about 4 years ago or something like that. Phenomenal show, man. One of the best performances I've seen out of there. One of the best turnouts I've seen for a crowd being really into it and really interacting with him.
I
Knowing all.
saw him with, where did I see him? I saw him out at Dick's Sporting Goods back in the day.
Very nice.
Yeah. Good show though. Always a good show. I think I saw my Cervantes ones too.
That would be nice, just because I mean that's a smaller, more intimate atmosphere in terms of like a connection with the crowd. Just because there's not 9,450 people. It's what Cervantes fits.
Like 60. It's like 100. Like one over 100 or something. I don't know. It's a good couple hundred.
Yeah. I guess what would be your favorite venue other than Red Rocks? Let's exclude that out of the conversation. What's your favorite venue, small venue in Denver to see a show at?
Oh man. Where do we see Leon Bridges at? Summit, I think it was. Out like by itself, out there by itself in Denver.
Yeah. I think I like outside of Denver, Fox Theater, inside of Denver, Fillmore. Those would be my two.
Dang, I haven't been to the Fox Theater, I'd say, since like 2011. No, actually, probably like last show at the Fox Theater was oh man, what's the group? Get Lucky? Who is that? We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. Nah. Is that Pharrell? That's not Pharrell.
Daft Punk and Pharrell.
Daft Punk, yeah. Yeah, man. A friend of mine did a Daft Punk cover band, and I saw it up there at the Fox Theater.
That's dope. That's
pretty cool. But yeah, dang. I like Summit Music Hall. Cervantes was always a good show.
Yeah. There's Cervantes and then there's the other side.
Yeah, I haven't been up there in a while though.
Jesse's calling you out.
I know, right? I was like, who sings that song? Yeah, man, Daft Punk and Pharrell. But any shows, yeah, I'm still, just looking out to come across some tickets for the Atmosphere show, man. That's gonna be a good one.
Yep, that was up in September at Red Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Always a classic to go see for sure. I'm excited for the openers.
There was another one I saw. Dang, I think it was downtown for who's doing Taste of Colorado. Let me see what that lineup looked like.
I'm just looking through the Red Rocks calendar just to see any good shows that I'd be interested in going to.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the hard part for me with, working up there for 10 and a half years is that I've pretty much seen it all, man. And, it really takes a new artist going up there to shock me and be like, wow, I have to go. I have to see that one. But, it's usually with Red Rocks, you could expect 92% of the shows to be the exact same as they were last year. That 8%, they'll change up, and some of them are pretty awesome and dope. But, they keep a very consistent artist lineup when it comes to Red Rocks itself.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they got Weird Al Yankovic in
what?
June. Yeah, late June. Weird Al.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long has Weird Al been touring for?
Like 37 years.
Oh yeah, they don't have really.
I feel like since the late 90s or something like that.
Forever, man. That's still wild. He can still go out and, still go tour.
Yeah, I know the Beach Boys are coming to Red Rocks at some point too, which is
what the heck?
Crazy ass announcement. It's like, man, I mean, I didn't even know they were still alive, to be honest with you.
Ja Rule, Nelly, and Fabulous are gonna be at Fiddler's Green. That's in August.
Was that the Summer Jam show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ice Cube. Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, Ice Cube will be in that Ball Arena. I still don't think
Ludacris.
I don't think they've announced openers for him yet at this point.
I don't see him. Ludacris is going to be in Greeley
That's pretty dope. That's some old
next month.
schoolness there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Post Malone and Jelly Roll.
Okay.
That's about the biggest show this summer, right? At
Yeah.
Phil.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest disappointments was that we were nowhere on Kendrick Lamar's lineup for his stadium tour, which was a
Well, he doesn't smoke. Why would he come here? No.
In my opinion, I feel like TDE just doesn't mess with Denver a whole lot ever since Schoolboy Q had his incidences out here back to back coming out. And so they kind of veer away from here just because, I mean, I don't know if there's just gang affiliation out here or what the case may be. They do have a lot of loyal fans. I'm one of them. I love TD, all of them. But, looks like I'm going to have to travel if I want to see Kendrick Stadium shows, which I'm pretty sure I'd have to go to the East Coast at this point.
Dang. What? Tyler Creator? Oh, what? Missed it. Dang, missed Tyler Creator. That was in February.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing clips of that show itself when I played here, and it was a pretty good one.
The Ball Arena.
Yep.
Cool. But yeah, no, so what are you feeling for the Nuggets? You got any score predictions for the Nuggets game?
This next one, I can see it being I feel like it's going to be a consistent win for us. I feel like it's going to be us hopefully going back to our traditional method of playing with our food for 3 quarters and eating in the fourth quarter. Hopefully, we trail them for, 3 quarters or so, keeping a close pace like we did in game one, essentially minus quarter one, just because we did take the first quarter in game one. But I could see us trailing behind them, not far off, not letting them get too far out like they did in this last game. And then pulling it out in the fourth quarter, coming out fourth quarter hot. I feel like we're going to have a bench player step up. I don't know which one it would be. I don't see it being Russell Westbrook, honestly. I think he's starting to get a little tired himself, too. Maybe, I guess I can see Julian Strawther really having a game, coming out and, laying out 14 points in the fourth quarter to really contribute to a build that Jamal and Nikola have already established. I don't see, Nikola letting his emotions get the best of him again and fouling out. I think he's learned his lesson, hopefully, in the first 2 games. I've seen him playing with more emotion, which is uncommon to see, definitely. But I can see him kind of pulling it together, keeping those emotions under control, and really playing consistently and getting 32 points in, hopefully 37 minutes, nothing over 40, hopefully. I can see Jamal having a ball.
I want to see him go. Let's see Joker go off. I want to see him get 60 points. Put it to him. Put it to him. 60 points, 25 rebounds, 14 assists.
That's my prediction for Game 6, closing it out.
Yeah.
In Denver. He's going to close it out with a 63-point game.
We beat OKC. We're going to the finals. I'm just going to say it right here, right now.
Yeah,
I know you hear me, Justin.
Yeah,
we're going to the finals.
And I feel like especially if Timberwolves don't make it past the Warriors. So if it's the Nuggets versus Warriors, we're going to take that all game. We're going to take that whole series all day.
Mm-hmm. What's the score in that game right now?
Yeah, and I can see that too. I can definitely see Peyton Watson
blowing out.
I can see Peyton Watson having a standout game defensively. Maybe not necessarily with points scored, but I can see him having a standout game, coming out heavy defensively and having 8 blocks.
See, but this is the thing, though. I can see that too. But Peyton Watson is he's like the same age as SGA and all those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's not on the same level as all those guys.
True.
So that's why I don't think this will be like a good breakout game for him. But as far as being the future, that I see, but it's just you see what the true future is in OKC. And you see that even though he is the future, he's still a step behind.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Denver just has a long way to go, but it's gonna be a make or break off season for them this year, man. No matter what happens in the playoffs.
And the one thing that OKC I think thrives off of that they're going to have to figure out when that time comes is Caruso. Caruso really holds that team down on an experience level. He really is the one player on that team that has a ring, has established himself. He's been there. He's done that. He's really guiding them through it. And I've always seen something in Alex Caruso, even with his days with the Bulls, where he's been a beast.
We could have had Caruso.
Yeah.
But, stupid GMs wanted to draft players instead. So just go out and get shooters, put shooters. And now we got to keep MPJ on there with half a freaking left arm because he's the only shooter we got.
Right.
Let's take a promo break real quick.
All right. Sounds good.
Got me getting heated up by these Nuggets, man. Don't piss me off. Nah. We'll be right back, guys, and take a little break. 30-second break. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Keep hitting that like button. Tell your friends. We'll be right back, guys.
My name is Anton Popoff, and this is my 6th year of college football. Training during the hottest times of the day is a recipe for muscle cramps, which is why electrolytes are so important. Hydration is crucial for my performance. Dragon Salt eliminates muscle cramps and boosts your overall energy level. Whether it's a weight room or field session, I fuel up with Dragon Salt beforehand. It's been a game changer for me, and it'll be a game changer for you.
Yes, sir. You seen it. You saw it here on Shady Sports Network. Hey, we got a comment over on Instagram from Dylan. Dylan 13er, I think it is. It's way off topic. He says, what do we think about the Browns quarterback room?
All 5 of them? I don't think there's enough room in that room.
Who do they have? Deshaun, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, Shador. Another.
And Kenny, what's his name? Kenny Pickett?
Yeah. Did they pick up Kenny Pickett?
Right? Yeah, Kenny Pickett. So Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. Who's going to win? Who's going to be starting week 1?
I'm going to go with Kenny Pickett, honestly.
Kenny Pickett. Dang, that's the most unexciting statement.
Yeah, and that's just because he has the most experience out of all of them, minus Joe Flacco. But, I mean, Joe Flacco, he's going to be the DeAndre Jordan of that team where he's more of a quarterback coach than he is a starting quarterback, He's there for the experience. Say he's been there, done that. I think he's seen past his prime. Is Deshaun got to be healthy enough to be able to start, Is he going to want to put that pressure on him that early? His reputation's shot already. People were cheering for him when he was out of the game with his injury initially. So it's like, I mean, how much more can his reputation take?
Man, Justin coming with these lukewarm takes. Oh, man, Pickett is a Super Bowl champ. Look at that. Got the ring to prove it. This guy said the Browns quarterback room or the Broncos quarterback room. You better put some respect on my quarterback's name. We got an established starter, although I think it was CBS Sports. I think it was CBS Sports came out with their list today, their quarterback list.
Yeah.
And I think they have Bo Nix at – where do you think they have him?
What is it, like out of all 32 teams?
I don't know.
Or is it like a top 10?
I think it was like it was at least top 20.
If we're considering top 20 and he's in it, I'd probably put him with CBS ranking it. Probably 12.
12?
Yeah, just because CBS is pretty hit and miss, honestly, with their rankings. In my opinion, out of the top 20 quarterbacks in the league, I would rank Bo Nix at maybe like an 8, maybe 7. But he's climbing up there. He's built a name for himself. To play one season as the rookie to be rated in the top 10, that's pretty bold statement to put out there and make, in terms of what he's done for himself and what he's established and what he proved last year. He really did prove the entire draft wrong when it came to that quarterback drafting last year.
Oh, I did read his question wrong. He said the Browns quarterback room, the Broncos running back room. I think I can't find it, but I think they did have him at like 13. I think they had Bo Nix at like 13. They had Brock Purdy at top 10.
And I mean, it's going to Justin's question. I mean, yeah, we have 6 running backs, but I mean, really, when it comes down to it, we have 3.
We know who it's going to be.
It's R.J. Harvey,
Harvey,
Estime, and
McLaughlin or whatever his name is. Yeah. In that order, it's going to be R.J. Harvey, McLaughlin, and Estime is going to be our cleanup bag.
Right, and he's going to be more of that goal line feature when we're 2 yards out.
Hopefully, that's the hope. But it'll probably still be R.J. Harvey.
Yeah, and I can see that too because he's
probably going to be the lead back. They want him to be the lead back. They don't want to deal with these other guys. They already dealt with them. They just want this guy to take over, and I think he has a man. The more you look at it, I mean, this guy was like he led the NCAA in rushes over 20 yards. I think he had like 23 or something like that. I don't know. He had like a grip of them.
I feel like numbers. I feel like we have to see the Broncos schedule in order to really break down Justin's comment.
Well, we know they're going to play the Raiders twice. They're going to play Kansas City twice. They're going to play the Chargers twice. Oh, yeah, we do got Tyler Bidet.
Yeah, but I've never, ever heard an update on his injury, how it's progressed, where he's at with
he played in the playoffs.
Did he?
He played in the playoff game.
Okay.
He had more. He played in the playoff game, and Estime didn't. Estime didn't even get a jersey. So you're right. I mean, Bidet is going to be given a shot for sure, but I think it's R.J. Harvey's job to lose. Just like Pat Bryant, man, could possibly come in and be wide receiver number 2. We could see an entirely revamped offense next year where we see, multiple people we hadn't even seen on the Broncos side of the offensive ball, as our weapons. Evan Ingram as a tight end, Pat Bryant coming in as number 2 wide receiver, R.J. Harvey as a running back, and that's a completely new offense.
Yeah.
Aside from Cortland Sutton.
And, the surprise to me is that the Broncos, the one thing I do know about their schedule is that our first game is a Monday Night Football game. We open up the Monday Night Football season for the league. So that'll be an interesting matchup with the Bengals, taking it back to last year when we played them. I feel like we could take it this time around, honestly.
Yeah, no, I think we have a very smart quarterback who's doing nothing but studying film, man, and it's going to be a totally different look. Last season, it was just, figuring it out and really like deer in the headlights and just going with talent. But how many prime timers you think we get this year? See, we were just still living off that Russell Wilson, flatulence. So we're just getting the prime time games still. So, but at the same time, too, though, you look at it, there's a lot of reasoning to put it at prime time, right? We got a first round cornerback with the defensive player of the year. We got,
a new traded free safety,
a new tight end.
Yeah, we made a lot of good moves this year that I do think make us prime worthy, and we're worthy of that opportunity this time around. With Russell Wilson, it was more of his reputation that really pushed for those primetime games, knowing that they weren't performing. He wasn't performing in Denver. So that was an unfortunate situation for us because it made us look bad on national TV multiple times. I think we'll get more primetime as the season goes on, as long as we open up in the first, 3-4 weeks with wins, and they're solid wins, and we look real good. I could see, the NFL really looking at Broncos to be primetime football again.
Yeah, well, you think about it, like, gosh, man, either the Chargers or the Chiefs could be at the top of the leagues too. So if we're rolling, those games will have to be primetime games, especially they come down and decide in the division. Playing the Bengals, something like that, is going to be big coming around. And if we're playing the Bengals, then that means that we're playing the AFC North. So then we're playing the Ravens again.
Yeah.
We're looking at that. We're playing who was all the AFC North? It's the Bengals, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers. So yeah, I mean the Browns got that quarterback room, so that's a game that's probably gonna get prime time or could get prime time.
Yeah.
Steelers suck, so we probably won't see that as prime time. But there could be, playoff spot implications from that game, depending on when we do play them.
Right. And, talking on Justin's comment here, I really feel like those uniforms were pretty dope. The only thing I didn't like about them were the shoulder designs. I feel like if they slightly redesigned those shoulder designs to take out what looked like a Chargers bolt on it, that those uniforms are pretty elite, honestly. Their throwback was top notch. That was the talk of the week.
Yeah. Oh, they are. Aren't we getting new uniforms though? Didn't they get a new uniform contract?
I'm not sure. But I really do feel like the AFC West is going to be the division of the AFC again. I feel like we're going to be on top again. We were the only AFC division that had 3 playoff teams last year. I feel like that's going to repeat. I don't see the Raiders making it in yet again, unfortunately. I see them being good, competitive, but I don't see them making it into the playoffs. I think Geno Smith is going to be their answer at quarterback for the next couple seasons. But I feel like it's a Derek Carr move to the Saints, where he's going to have a good couple solid seasons, and then something's going to tie him down to the fact where Raiders are looking for another quarterback again in just a couple seasons.
Nah, I don't know. Geno is a winner, man.
Yeah, but I don't see him. I see him having his best season last year. I see him being consistent, but not elite.
We'll see. And I mean, they got that solid running game too, though. Over there in Oakland, you can't count out a solid running game.
Well, yeah, everyone's running out of Oakland these days.
Or Vegas. Vegas. Oh yeah, where's the baseball team going? They're going to Vegas too.
I think they're playing in San Bernardino this year until that stadium is built in Las Vegas. It's under construction, and they'll be there inevitably. But I think this year they're playing somewhere on the Bay in North California.
Bolt. Yeah, bro, we coming striking. It's not a Chargers bolt. That's lightning. Because we got thunder and lightning. No bolts over here. Nah. But yeah, no, I think our running back room does. I think RJ Harvey does take the starting job. I think we will see him take it over in the beginning of the season.
How many yards do you think he'll have this year?
RJ Harvey will have 845 yards, which is good because, we need somebody to get over 700 yards.
Yeah, I agree. I could see Estime and him really having a solid year and sharing a lot of yards. I see him. I agree with you about 800 yards. I see Estime close behind him at 700, 750.
Which is, okay, but hopefully we see him get closer to 1,000. And become that bell cow.
Yeah, definitely. And that's just something the Broncos have lacked offensively. And, it's exactly what Baltimore Ravens did when they signed Derrick Henry. Is it took so much pressure off of Lamar Jackson that it opened up his whole gameplay. It opened up so many more plays in his game, in the playbook for him, where he can, stay in the pocket a lot more. He didn't have to put himself out there. He had that consistency in terms of staying healthy a lot longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that helps you out in a division where, running backs are huge. So and look at Baltimore, they're able to stand out. And, the AFC North as far as running.
Yeah, no, he gave, Derrick Henry gave Saquon a run for his money. I think up until about week 13 or so, it was Derrick Henry was the leading rusher. And then, Saquon had a killer end of his regular season. He just annihilated the last, 4 or 5 games of the regular season that just put him over the top.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, what do you? Dang, Wolf smashing. Oh, that's game. What starters? Curry wasn't playing.
Yeah, it's true. He's still dealing with his hamstring.
Nah, but what do you feel? What do you think about the Steelers trading Pickens away?
Man, I don't know.
Cowboys.
You can't be a Steelers wide receiver at all. I mean,
Make it to you can't be a Steelers wide receiver. Make it to another contract, huh?
you could be a Steelers defensive player and be on there for life,
Or
no matter what you do.
maybe a quarterback even.
Yeah, but to be a wide receiver on Pittsburgh Steelers doesn't guarantee you anything. And if I was DK Metcalf, I'd be scared. I'd be nervous. I'd be like, wow, I just gave away like everything that I had, every option I had. I'm gonna potentially have a breakout season, and they're still gonna trade me, or I'm gonna have the worst season of my career, and it's gonna fuzz out my value when it comes.
Yeah, who's their quarterback? You know what I mean? And then Dak Prescott did just get another solid weapon, right? Like,
yeah,
his probably best second receiver since what? Gallup.
Yeah, so I would agree with it. Gallup, I had Gallup 1 year for fantasy, and he was good until he got hurt, and that was kind of the dimming point for him. And I haven't seen Gallup do anything since then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think CD's going to opens up options for Dak Prescott. If they have him on each side of the field, you really don't know who to guard.
Mm-hmm.
CD can really break out and have those tough catches and runs, and George Pickens. He doesn't really have many yards after a catch, but he can catch a ball like no other, and he's going to get that deep ball.
Mm-hmm.
If you throw it up to him, he's going to come down with that 50-yard pass.
Oh, he's going to fight for it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely an excellent possession receiver. And who needs a running back when you just throw the ball all the time?
Right.
Dak's coming back from injury. Throw some screens if you want to run the ball.
Right, exactly. Just drop it.
And Javonte Williams, no slouch, man. Don't get it twisted. People they just see, the 3.3 yards per carry last season. You know what I'm saying? But he was once upon a time a really good running back.
Yeah. And it never really came to fruition here in Denver, but we've seen, players go from Denver to other teams and really thrive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And right, as a running back, you're not gonna be running on, at altitude. Be running at sea level. Javonte, right? Might as well. I would. Right. But yeah. That was a wild trade. I wonder where that came from, man. It's just like every time the NBA does a wild trade, the NFL has come back. They're like, "Oh, I see you. Here, hold my drink. Let me do a wilder trade."
Right, and I feel like that was a Mike Tomlin decision. Honestly, I feel like Tomlin, he writes people off, and he kind of is. He's the LeBron James of the Pittsburgh Steelers, knowing that he's the coach that has never had a losing season. Pittsburgh just puts any and everything into him with his decision making, and that really came down to him and what he feels like the future of Pittsburgh should look like until it backfires. Once it backfires, that's when you'll see Coach Tomlin retire because behind closed doors they're gonna fire him and they're gonna tell him he can leave with his head held high and leave on his own terms, or they can announce the firing.
Do you think he would retire, or do you think he would try to go to another team?
Oh no, with Pittsburgh Steelers coaches, he's going to go straight into retirement and be a commentator.
Mike Tomlin as a commentator. It'd be exciting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah. Be like Dion as a commentator.
Right.
Shoot. Yeah, Jonathan Brooks already on the up list, out for the season. Well, maybe we'll see him one day. What coach in the NFL is getting fired this season?
Ooh.
Well, the Patriots are going to fire their coach because now they got their young squad so they can build around them. They're going to bring in a young coach.
I think there'll be multiple firings, but I think the first one will be Kellen Moore out of the New Orleans Saints.
Dang, you think they're just going to turn around and fire him right away?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they drafted so poorly. Stupid Saints.
Yeah, and they're gonna put all their hopes into Derek Carr. He's gonna do trash, and they're gonna blame the coach.
Dang, that's wild. Kellen Moore, first one to be fired, just got hired. That would suck. He just left the Super Bowl winning team to get fired.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just gonna be a blow up year. I feel like they'll be 1-7, and Saints are just gonna be like, this ain't working. And the team's gonna blame the coach, and ownership and management will listen to the team.
Where's Vrabel at?
Vrabel's Patriots.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I just said he'd get fired.
He did just.
I don't even know the name. I just know.
Just fire him.
I just know he's gonna go.
I don't know. He did really well in Tennessee. Honestly, I feel like Tennessee's still.
Did he though? They
He did.
traded away Derrick Henry.
I don't know. That was the same year that they got rid of him. They announced they're getting rid of him. They announced that they're not re-signing Derrick Henry.
So they just cleaned shop. See, I don't
Yeah.
really know about anything.
Yeah, and that was just a weird. And that's where a lot of that blame is going on the ownership of Tennessee. It's poorly ran. It's poorly ran, and you could be any position in there, but the final say is the ownership of Tennessee.
Well, I don't know. They were getting blown out in the first round of playoffs every year, it felt like. So
They made it to the AFC divisional finals one year, where I had a lot of hope for them. but
literally just running it. They couldn't get a quarterback for crap.
I'm pretty sure they're number one seed overall, and they just dropped out in the AFC divisional final or divisional round.
Was that with Jake Delhomme?
What's that?
Who was their quarterback that year?
It was Tannehill.
Oh yeah.
Tannehill had ran it for a little bit, and then it started to fall apart with him, and they blamed everybody but him, and they're still doing the same thing now because they're blaming everybody but Levis, and I think he's complete trash and garbage.
Well, we're gonna FAFO this year, so we shall see.
Yeah, we got Cam Ward. We'll see what he's able to do and accomplish. I have high hopes for him as an individual. I don't have high hopes for the team and a record for the year. I feel like he's going to do pretty phenomenal. I feel like he'll have if I had to guess Cam Ward statistics this year, I could see him throwing 3,100 yards.
That's about what I got.
Yeah, I'd say about 27 touchdowns, but I'd see him have a lot of picks too, honestly. I could see him having somewhere upwards of 19 to 20 picks.
I got him. Yeah, I got him with like 24 touchdowns, like 3,200 yards, I think, somewhere around there.
And he's just going to be slinging the ball around. They don't have a running game right now currently. So.
Well, he'll be running it.
It's true, but I don't know. I feel like they're going to want to protect their first-round draft pick value, and they're going to tell him to stay in the pocket.
We'll see. Favorite Denver QB? Tim Tebow.
I'd have to say Jake Plummer.
There we go. All-star lineup right there.
Jake Plummer, if you've seen any current interviews with that man, he's just out just on mushrooms all the time.
Tripping.
Having a great time.
Living his best life.
Yeah.
But, it's so crazy that they got rid of him for who? Jay?
Yeah, Cutler. Just for him to go to the Bears and throw tantrums.
The man to go to the Bears. Then he force his way out of here?
I don't really know, honestly, what really went into his trade.
No, they traded him so they get Tim Tebow.
Did they trade up in the draft?
It was something. I don't remember.
Okay.
He was having some issues.
Who was your least favorite Denver Bronco of all time?
Least favorite Denver Bronco QB?
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum. Joe Flacco. Paxton Lynch. We had so many, man.
Brock Osweiler, man.
Brock Osweiler was a beast until he wasn't, right? He was all shady.
Yeah, he did some shady stuff leaving Denver. That's like he left with some animosity and
Hey, he's a Super Bowl champ. Put some respect on his name.
left a bad taste in all our mouth when we
What? Tell you about? So Tim Tebow was my favorite quarterback. What are you talking about? He's a Florida quarterback. Who's a Florida quarterback that I'm not hating on? I don't know. All-time starting lineup for the Broncos. At quarterback, Tim Tebow. At running back, Philip Lindsay.
Ooh, I like that, Mr. No Fumble.
Yeah. At fullback, Andy Janikowski. At tight end. Oh, man. Oh, dang. What's his name? Julius Thomas,
yeah.
Julius Thomas at tight end. Demaryius Thomas at wide receiver. I'd have Emmanuel Sanders at the other wide receiver because they just went off that year. They all had like over 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, the only one you're leaving out there from that lineup is Eric Decker.
Eric Decker, man, was a beast too.
Yeah,
one of the better slot receivers ever, man. Come on now. I guess I'm supposed to put like older players in there too. So let me see. I don't know. That's all I got.
I probably have to go Elway at quarterback.
Elway over Tebow, you crazy, man. No, I'm playing.
Running back, I could go Davis, but I feel like that's cliche. So I'd probably go.
What? No, Sean. Yeah.
I'd go C.J. Anderson.
Oof. Okay.
Fullback, Peyton Hillis.
Oof.
Tight end, I'd probably have to agree with you and go Julius Thomas.
Yeah. And Wes Welker is better than Eric Decker.
I was going to go with Wes Welker as my one wide receiver.
I agree with that. I will not go against that for sure.
Yeah.
Did the Warriors come back yet?
That bench.
Yeah. So you said who did you say for a receiver?
Wes Welker, and on the other side, I'd probably go Rod Smith.
Oof. Dang, yeah. That'd be pretty quick.
Yes, sir.
Wolves won by 24. Dang, Nuggets lost by like 34 last night. So I'm just numb to everything right now in the sports world.
Right.
I'm like the Joker when he was just sitting there in the fourth quarter, just staring out into the distance.
All right. He really became the coach at that point.
He didn't say anything. I'm not coaching nothing. Coach Warren, I'm not doing nothing. Let's get to work. He was just ready to come back home and get to work, man. Yeah, but gosh, man, I think it was a good show tonight, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we got some good stuff in. We talked about the Nuggets loss, getting beat down. Previewed the Nuggets game coming up tomorrow night. Touched on some other teams, the Timberwolves, the Browns. Yeah, I honestly, man, DT, there's very few receivers out there that could take a screen and turn into a touchdown.
Yeah, or go
and have that threat every time you throw him a screen. And DT was that guy.
Yeah, there's nothing more iconic than his overtime win on the first play from a pass.
Oh, yeah, against the Steelers.
Yep.
From who? None other than
Tebow.
Let me get down and kneel for you guys. Mr. Gator. Tim Tebow himself. Yeah, that was an icon. And he just did that play over and over. He did it with Tim Tebow. He did it with Peyton Manning. Luckily, he got to do it with Peyton Manning, right? Where he really got to go off and show his talent. And he did it with who Who was there when Tim Tebow? Who started the year Tim Tebow got there?
What was it? Cortland Sutton?
No, the quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
Oh man,
Was it Case Keenum?
I think it was. It was Case Keenum. No, was it Case Keenum? No, was it Case Keenum? Either way, he had 1,000-yard season with 3 different quarterbacks. Dude was a beast.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but that would be my team. I like that. I like your team too. It'd be a solid team. Broncos had some solid, players throughout the years, and I think even past few years we had some really, really great players come through there, man. Luckily,
right.
Just can't get back to those running back days, man. It's like ever since we traded away Clinton Portis, it was like a bad omen. Granted, you know what I mean? We got Champ Bailey, which was awesome. But did Champ Bailey win a Super Bowl here?
No, he went out as a no champ.
Exactly. It was a bad omen because we haven't had a running back worth calling a running back. Well, we had a couple of decent running backs. We haven't had like
it was bees. Going back to our question earlier, it was Kyle Orton.
Orton was pretty much the OG Case Keenum. If you think about it. Yeah. Mr. Orton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he had Kyle Orton, Tim Tebow, and Peyton Manning. So luckily he went out on a bang.
Right.
That's one. Because that was a good year, man. And like you said, he had like all the receivers besides like Wes Welker went over 10 touchdowns.
Yeah. And that was a shock to me, honestly. I never saw Wes Welker leaving the Patriots.
Yeah, right. And then he came here. Same thing with didn't Eric Decker leave the Patriots too and come here? Or no?
I think we drafted him.
Did we draft Eric Decker?
And then we said when he left the Broncos, he went to the Jets.
Cool. Yeah, man, we had some solid receivers throughout the years, though.
Denver gunslinger.
Yeah, but Jake, what's his face, was killing it too. It's just weird they even drafted Jake Cutler when they did.
Right.
Yeah, see, Eric Decker was traded.
Oh, okay. Was drafted by Tennessee, traded to the Broncos.
Yeah, Justin come through with the facts. Well, shoot, man, that's all I got for tonight.
Same.
Poop. It's been a long week. Definitely. But it's always fun, man, hanging out.
Right. I love talking sports and music. It's always a good time talking to the audience, getting the comments and the feedback from everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank y'all, Justin, all y'all, man, coming to hang out. Mikey coming on, hanging with us. We had some people over on Instagram come and hang with us. Dylan 13er. Quite a bit of people on Instagram, actually. Shout out to all y'all came through.
Yeah, we appreciate all you guys watching and participating, sharing, liking, commenting, subscribing. Continue to do so. We always want to grow our channel. We always want to, push to have the biggest contributing factors that we can have. We always want to have our opinions heard. We always want to grow as a group under this Shady Sports umbrella that we carry with us at all times. We appreciate Shady Sports Network for having us and continue to be one of the leading local sports networks in Colorado.
Hey, yes, sir. This is how we do it, right? That's how we do it, guys. So, hey, guys, thanks for coming out and rocking with us tonight. You heard Statik say it best. So, hit that like button, hit that share button, tell your friends about it. Come back. We're here every Thursday night over on Shady Sports Network. And then just head over to shadysportsnetwork.com or Shady Sports Net, wherever you are on social media, find us. We got way more than this too, so there's so much to check out as well. So head on over, find something. I'm sure you'll find something else you like, and then keep coming back here and hanging with us because it's gonna heat up as we get closer to this football season, man, and we get to the playoffs. So tomorrow night I got the Nuggets winning. I'm gonna say they come out and put a thumping on, but it's gonna be a low scoring affair. I'm gonna say 104-97. They're gonna hold them under 100 points.
I guess I'll go with Nuggets as well. I feel we'll pull it off. I feel like it's going to be a low-scoring game as well. I think it'll be 101-89.
There we go. So we got Nugs coming out smashing. Shout out to the Wolves. They came out and handled business. Looks like the home team's starting to turn it back around, although the Knicks put it on the Celtics twice. So
same with Pacers.
Going.
Same with the Pacers.
Pacers over there thumping too with Cleveland, man. Come on, Spider got to turn it around. So playoffs getting spicy, man. The second round. So come back, rock with us. Let us know what team you're watching in the playoffs. We'd love to shout it out. Other than that, same place next week, guys. Same time, same guys. Peace.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.